Rand, do you have anything on the horizon that you feel is going to transcend to where you want to be? Like maybe something you can talk about where you can't really talk about? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, man. Actually, was it maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I got hit up, and you heard it here first. Next year, 2023, I'll have 2 general releases.
Hey! We toasting to that, player.
Not one, but 2 general releases.
Make sure they're size 11 and a half so they come home because no.
Yeah, just got a commission for 2 general releases from a major sneaker company.
Nice.
And it's actually for a hip hop artist that just signed a sneaker deal.
That can't be mentioned.
Nice.
It can't be mentioned, until it comes out. But basically, they hit me up and wanted me.
I think I know who. And he has been creeping in those DMs.
Hey,
a proper release, to say the least, with a real brand,
general release, man. I'm gonna be so proud, man. Because next year,
congratulations, man.
Told my daughter next year we're gonna go into whatever sneaker store, and we're gonna go and
pick them out.
see Daddy's artwork.
Size you want, baby.
2 designs, not one but 2.
Hey, man, love it down. Proud of you, boy.
Man,
appreciate it, man.
With the news that you just dropped on the stair and the customizing of the shoes, you haven't really been this huge sneakerhead, but do you see your work elevating to models or live art or anything like that? Or do you just want to stay in this lane with just the shoes?
Eventually, man, I see myself just having my own store, my own business where, I'll have everything from shoes to hats, anything, clothing from, top to bottom, man. And
what about actual artwork?
Actual artwork, for me, it's always been about the shoes, man. But I'll take on any challenge, and I see myself, doing a little bit of different stuff.
You prefer your art being on something like a shoe or a clothing?
No, 100% on a shoe. That's my true passion. That's what got me to, just find my new love, which is basically when you love something and you find something that you don't even know how to do it, but you're focused on, dude, I want to fucking learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And next you know, not every day, but I learn something at least every other day about the shoes, to my craft, or from my own mistakes, or just watching a video. The next thing for me in the horizon is basically recon, which is basically just learning how to stitch. And there's a difference. It's not a sewing machine, it's a stitching machine. Sewing machine, you can get that at, Joann's or Michael's. To make a shoe, you actually got to stitch.
That motherfucker's
industrial stitching machine.
Industrial
those diamonds right there, the way
machine.
you got that shit on the side is crazy.
I mean, I was blessed enough to get to buy a Juki machine, industrial machine, and I've been working on that for maybe the last 6 months. But I've been doing all the stuff for my projects on vinyl. I don't want to spend $500 on exotic leather and fuck it up while I'm learning.
Have you made some expensive learning points on this?
Mistakes? No, just because
mistakes.
The mistakes I make is only on vinyl. So, I can go anywhere and get the vinyl. But for me, the mistakes on that is basically just having a straight stitching line where, there's nothing else but you looking at the line and going in the straight line, and just mastering the stitching of, just stitching a shoe together from top to bottom. Right now, I'm in the process of lasting a shoe. Lasting a shoe is basically where you mold the shoe into, your left shoe or your right shoe, and it takes a form of your actual shoe. Wow. So it's kind of like a fake mannequin kind of toe, or not toe, but a foot, where basically everything that you stitched together, then you put it over the last.
Nailing
you put it over the last, which is basically like a fake shoe or a mold that lets you construct the shoe to that size 9 or size 10 or whatever.
Do we see a signature own shoe of your own self in the future, or do you see yourself designing?
Yeah, man, yeah. But that's a long process. I haven't dabbled in that, but I know a little bit what it takes.
Is that a goal of yours?
Not necessarily right now, but I know eventually, you know, what I'm doing is gonna
Lead to that.
lead me into
Down the path.
down the path of, you know, just having everything under my name brand,
Yeah.
which is not just going to be shoes, it's going to be shirts, you know, it could be pants.
So when you're talking to stitching, man, like, could you give us a breakdown of that? Are you using glue before you get to the stitching part to hold the shell in place, or like,
Yeah, the
any
stitching
tips that you could
is-
give away where you're not charging us $50 a question if we want the answer on the DM?
Which they did, you know, try to do me like 7 years ago.
Wow.
No, but the stitching is basically just doing, like right now I'm doing the process of doing two, what's it, SBs lows.
Oh, the slam.
Oh,
boy.
gotcha.
Yeah, some SB lows and
Skate specials.
Yeah.
and the first thing you got to start off with is basically the pattern, which is basically everything you see on the shoe right now is basically a pattern. Like this right here is one part. Everything that you see that has a
They're all
stitching,
pieces you're bringing together.
that's all pieces. Yep. So the
Yeah.
patterns you can buy those, you know, from folks out there, and the prices for those it's just a pattern for that one size. So you have a left shoe and a right shoe, and for the pattern, excuse me, the pattern for that can cost from $300 to $600.
And you're buying basically
Wow.
several patterns for several sizes and molds all the
Nah.
way up, or
That's
you
my
just-
well. That's what I look forward to.
Ultimate
Right now,
goal.
I just been doing one pattern, which I didn't even buy. My buddy Drip Studios, he basically blessed me with one of his patterns,
Drip.
and he said, and he does that full time. You know, he does it. He mastered his craft. He does one-on-one with exotic leathers, python, this and that, inner soles. Everything in general, just basically just whatever you get what you pay for. So for me, I'm just starting off with SB lows, and the shoe that I'm constructing right now is made out of not your most expensive, but you know, just material that is going to last. But at the same time, it wouldn't be something that I would sell to the customer. That's just basically
like the
my
Shaq
learning,
Walmart
my
specials
learning
here.
process, what I'm going through, and basically that's what I'm starting off with. You know,
like basic leathers as opposed to like python and so forth.
Yeah,
real
yep.
pricey, stingray.
or right now, or nylon, or whatever, whatever I can get my hands on, where it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg to practice on. Because eventually, I'm not going to sell the shoe that I'm basically learning how to mold into the shoe that SB is. And the patterns basically they sell them in acrylic or paper. The one I have is paper. So eventually, if I don't take care of it, it's going to crumble. Or if I rip it, then
Yeah.
you know,
gone.
it's totally different. It's going to be gone. So that basically the pattern, you basically trace it on all your pattern. You trace the patterns on all your fabric.
On your fabric.
And then from there, you start stitching the left shoe, you know, this side of the shoe, as opposed to, you know, the toe, the side panels, you know, the back heel, this and that. So you're basically stitching just the leather on the outer shoe. Then you got to do the inside, where all the shoes, like this right here, this has a little foam inside. Nobody knows it until you open up the shoe, and you'll see all this right here is like a little foam heel
That's what's
tab.
giving the shoe the form.
Exactly, yep. And the sturdiness too. If you don't put any of the stuff that's inside, which is basically the liner of the shoe, your shoe is not going to hold up as the form it should stay up
Yeah.
where you're walking with the shoe right now.
Why you see some of them big boys with them slants to the sides.
Lean.
Man, fugazi. No, but yeah, that's just a learning process that I'm going through, and just learning how to make my own shoe with industrial equipment where it's professional.
Yeah.
And I'm learning with a professional machine, as opposed to nothing wrong with, you know, going to Michael's or Joann's and getting a regular sewing machine, but it's going to be different
That's
once
a
you
different
actually.
quality.
Yeah.
It's totally different when
For
you're
sure.
basically going to make something that is a different quality, and then you have a different machine that you haven't even practiced on. So for me, practicing on, you know, a $300 sewing machine as opposed to a $1,500 or $2,000 stitching commercial industrial machine, where I'm learning with what I need already. I just need to learn the craft, you know, just get all my my stuff in order and just practice and practice. And then I don't have to be like, damn, I practiced, but now I need that machine.
Right now you're leveled
I already
up.
got the machine,
Right.
you know, and I'm learning how to use the machine, where it's totally different. I mean, this machine is, man, I got maybe like, I don't know, probably 2 horsepower. You know, you can switch the the speed on the motor. So it's basically you're
Can't put
practicing
that in
on your level.
In a sideshow.
You know, you're not necessarily practicing on a basic generic, you know, machine that only has one speed, and you're only gonna learn on that speed. What if the stitching, the curves and the lines, I might have to make a turn, and this shit is going at like 50 miles an hour.
So you're bringing the speed down and be able to manage that turn.
So I can learn, or I'm doing it 2 by hand. You know, I'm not even there yet. To this day, I'm not there. I can't really, you know, just stitch something without using my hand. I'm not as good as where I need to be to basically just sew something, or anybody in general. You know, when you practice something or you learn something, you start from the bottom,
right?
And then you work your way up. You know, you learn,
logging your hours,
and then after that, it's basically you can do it with your eyes closed. Where you know, cleaning a shoe, restorating a shoe, painting just panels, or doing what I'm doing now, customizing. I can do that with my eyes closed. So for me, I'm thinking, and I know I got to go, you know, to the next level of the same business where, you know, I see myself being an artist instead of a customizer, where I know I have that potential, and I see it, but at the same time, gotta pay bills. I'm still doing customizing orders, but eventually, you know, that's gonna trickle down, and you'll eventually see me do one-on-ones. You know, one of these days you're gonna go on my website, or
Foot Locker.
You know, or you see my page and it's gonna be one-on-one, and you're gonna be like, "Damn,
That used to be my spot, man."
charging like $1,000 for a pair of shoes when I was charging $300. But you're not gonna.
So you heard the man at Stay Fresh, stayfresh.com. Get them shoes while you can before you blow up.
Yep.
Got to give a toast to that.
Yeah.
It's not yesterday's price.
Hey,
You heard it now, especially after this commission. If you like what you see, make sure that they know where they can follow you again. Make sure you throw that IG out there so they can catch some of these fly ass kicks.
Right on, man. IG will be at stayfresh.company. You can also go on to my website, stayfreshcompanyllc.com, and my email, stayfreshcompanyllc@gmail.com.
We know someone's going to want some of the one-on-one action themselves. I believe we come from probably one of the most dominant places in fashion where people love to have that one for one.
Is the next release the happy hour show Air Force One?
The Mr. Overtime edition.
Let's do it.
Appreciate it, cuz. Appreciate you for coming through.
First, though.
blessing the show, man. Thank you.
Make sure you guys continue to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Got my boy Easy Slacks over there. We got the Dropster SF. I'm Mr. Overtime. And give it up one more time for the cuz O'Ran for coming through. Again, if you like what you see, don't hesitate to tap in. He gave you all the info and get you a 1-for-1.
Stay fresh.
You feel me? Next time.